as to what they wish to do. So that's just what I'm seeing. I might be completely wrong, but that's just my 2 cents. But anyway, that's all I have to say today. You're listening in to the LRW Radio International. With that, we're going to get into some music. If you are tuned in our broadcast, any music requests, reception reports, pieces of feedback are welcome. Please reach me at blrwinfo@gmail.com. Once again, that's blrwinfo@gmail.com. Our first request of the night comes in from Hunter in Kissimmee, Florida. All Through the Night by Cindy Walker.
Alright, I just want to make a short video on my Eton satellite. I want to show how I'm able to listen to it in stereo audio. Listen to shortwave in stereo audio through a pair of external speakers in the stereo system. I want to show you how I did that. First of all, it's handy because on the side of this radio, I move the camera over. First of all, you can see there are some choices for external audio outputs. You've got line in if you want to use this as a speaker. You have line out, so I can unplug I have it plugged into headphone now to get stereo. If I plug it into line out, it doesn't work properly with the stereo system because if I plug it into line out, it doesn't. I'm getting audio out of this and the speakers. I'm getting audio from the radio still and both the speakers, or at least one of the speakers, which is weird. It's kind of just in mono. I'm getting it from the speaker and the radio, and I think the speaker above my head here, the left channel. So I don't know. There's either manufacturing defect or some sort of hardware malfunction with the line out on this receiver. But so that's why I'm using the headphones. So I would just plug it in. I just got it plugged into the headphones with this jack. There's something wrong with the stereo system. Let me turn it off, turn it back on. It almost sounds like there's some arcing inside. There's somewhere. But I don't think it is. There's just something up with this, but it still works. Okay, it's good now. The way I test that is to make sure I can ground it. Well, it's ungrounded, but if I can touch it with my hand, I should get the hum noise. So I got this headphone jack plugged in here, just the headphones. I don't want to play too much of that because I don't want to get nailed for copyright. You can hear it there now. It's now connected to my stereo system. I'm hearing that at both channels. And I can now listen to shortwave on stereo, and on the other side of this cable, I'll have to move stuff around, but what I did is I hooked up, this is an old, you've seen this before, I wanted to go straight from this to my stereo system up here, the Panasonic, I forget the model number, but it's a cassette player, DVD, it's a cassette, CD, AM, FM stereo system. It has the option for aux or auxiliary. And what I've done in the back of the receiver here is this is the input, the audio input, the phono input from the radio. Because this cable was too short to go from up here to up there, this is the phono input. So I just got it plugged in here in the phono, and this is the output going from here. Whoop, I hit FM there by accident. So you're not getting anything now, but if I turn it up, you can see it there. And on the back of this receiver, the stereo system, let me flip it right around here so you can see, there's a phono input right back there for auxiliary that I have this connected to, which is connected, the output from this is connected here, and then the output from this is connected to this. just to give extra length to the wire. And then of course I got the stereo system hooked up, the 2 speakers connected. Now, this doesn't do anything because it's not hooked up to the right outputs. It's hooked up to the phono. Let me make a type. You'll see the dB meter jump, but that's about it. You'll just see the S meter jump, and setting the balance doesn't do anything either, or the tone, because again I'm using the phono output. I have to use the actual. This actually was a boombox that came with some speakers. That was my dad's. And so there's the phone. Those are speaker outputs, right channel and left channel for the actual speakers that come with it. That's where this comes in and it actually works. And there's a thing with this called auto loudness, because it depends on what station comes in the strongest. It'll adjust the volume for you automatically. The audio gain will automatically adjust. But yeah, that's how I'm listening to shortwave. I'm tripping over the tripod. In stereo audio with the Eton Elite Field through my stereo system, my stereo system, and this stereo system, the 2 stereo systems, because this wire is too short. So I'm outputting from the radio and I'm inputting into here, and then I'm outputting from here to this, and then we're inputting into the 2 speakers, 35 watts each. I think they're 35 watts each and 6 ohms each impedance. These speakers, I'm not sure. They're nice looking. So I go something here that's talk and not. So I always turn the audio gain up all the way on the radio, and then I can just adjust it here. I just use this adjustment.
That God's gonna hang out with.
See, that's not the loudest.
That's the type of person right there. That's why I lifted it out of this one place. Because it dawned on me that if we understand in the Old Testament.
So I can get a better sounding station here. I'll get 9330 here.
Jesus, that's a nice legal word. That's another word for the gospel of the kingdom. A testimony. That's the gospel as Jesus preached it. And because of the word of God, I've tried to say over the years, the word of God is not just...
And I did get my desk cleaned off, or I got a new desk for the shortwave radios. Now that I've cleaned it off, I moved all the shortwave stuff over here, and I'm loving it so far. It's giving me a lot more room on my workbench to work. You can see I cleaned off the workbench. Starting to hang stuff up. Get out of the way. I'm going to work on the protector. The protector is not going to stay there. Once that's done, it's going to have a new home. And I'll have even more room on the workbench once that's out of here. That radio will stay. That's my good shop radio. If I want to listen to FM or whatever. It's got great audio. But yeah, I'll finish listening to VORW for tonight. I had to drill a hole to fit the left and right channel phono cables up through here, because I wouldn't fit through the slot here like the speaker cables would, like the speaker cables did. So I drilled the hole to fit the cables through, so they weren't dangling everywhere in front of the cupboard, where the breaker panels are and everything. I mean, I guess long wave AM and shortwave aren't really meant to be listened to in stereo. They're really meant to be listened to in mono, whereas FM whereas FM you would listen to in stereo, not really AM, shortwave, or long wave. But I mean, whatever. It kind of gives off a bit of a better sound, if I were to say so. I have these Sony speakers from an old, that's why all this speaker wire is stapled up. I got these Sony speakers. They were from another Sony stereo system. They're 60 watts each. And these are 35 watts each. So if I would connect these speakers to this, they wouldn't sound right. You wouldn't get the full audio gain from them. I mean, sure, they don't sound, it doesn't sound the greatest with all the shortwave RF noise and everything, but you know. What is also cool about this is I can record any shortwave broadcast I want on cassette tape if I want to record, if I want to archive shortwave broadcast or any kind of radio broadcast on cassette tape. I could do that with this, with the phono input in here, which is another reason I did that. It's not really, the heads are kind of going. I gotta, this thing needs a bit of a repair. The heads are all, but yeah. And if I want, I can record. This is a CD recorder as well, so I can record my radio. I can archive my radio broadcast on CDs as well, which would be a better medium for this era than cassette tapes. It'd be hell of a lot easier to find than cassette tapes, of course. But yeah, I can archive. If you're looking to do that as well, maybe this will help someone. If you're looking to record shortwave broadcast, this might help someone. And it's also handy to. Oh, because I turned it down.
Any reception reports, pieces of feedback, music requests are welcome.
It's also handy when you're recording to have this, because if it peaks, you can turn the gain back while you're recording.
No analytics, no statistics, no metrics. We're just
973, Abingdon, Maryland, 21009.
Okay, I also forgot to mention, if you want to set the equalization,
Visit our website, www.truepath.
it doesn't really make a difference here when you're listening to
He would linger. It's kind of like, remember when you first ventured out away from your parents' home. When you first made that jump, whether it was you getting married and you were moving out, and everything seemed so delightful. There's so many enchantments and everything's so promising.
that sounds the best for
it also reminds me of how
the shortwave. Right there.
Most places. It's been sunny and warm enough. Cloudy with a few showers. Rain and worry. The first thing is still changes from like almost to when the city is hot country. Generally fine with high clouds. Occasional rain about eastern coastal and Pacific tomorrow. For Marlborough, North Ebola and Westland, also Canterbury, mostly fine and sunny. Some cloudy periods about Marlborough and Canterbury tomorrow. A few days southwards and Hilton. A few showers about Queensland and the south coast today, but mainly southwest. Cloud and south spreading throughout tomorrow afternoon and evening. And for the Chatham Islands, mainly fine. International is forecast.
Getting Radio New Zealand International on 13840.
What do we all hear in our own tongue? Parthians and me.
So here I am plugged into the Texan receiver, and I'm listening through the stereo system. It's the hottest signal right now.
Greeks and Arabians. We do hear them speak in our tongues the wonderful works of the art. And all were amazed and were in doubt, saying to one another, What meaneth this?
Dave, trust me, that's quite a list.
Isn't it? Yes. I was counting up there as you were reading it so well. There's a minimum of 15 different languages, possibly even more.
Wow.
Of course, there always has to be someone who laughs. Some of the people just dismissed it all, claiming the disciples were drunk. But Peter stood up and explained it was by the power of Yah. He said, look, these...
selling YA novel. People may not
There's
know that.
FM.
What made it time to write a memoir of your time in Hollywood?
Oh, you know, I suppose the short answer is I think I probably finally grew up enough to take a look at it. You know, I mean, that was a seminal moment in my life, and it changed. Those few years changed who I would become entirely, and it was such a powerful experience for me. And it came to
My handmaidens I will pour out in those days of my spirit. And they shall prophesy. It is one of the tools.
And I can even, if I want to, plug in this receiver. Here's good old Broster. You can see it sounds very... You can see it, you can hear it sounds... So... Because this volume control is dirty, that's why it sounds that... It'd sound better if it wasn't. With VHF here.
How about that?
You can see it really doesn't like that because the volume control is dirty. So this the stereo system really doesn't like this receiver because the because of the dirty volume control. Wow, Radio New Zealand is coming in pretty good. So, yeah, that's this video. Again, hopefully this helps someone.